How are you today? I've had a great day. And for me, a great day means connection. I have had so many really deep and meaningful connections today. And so now I get to connect here with you, the listener, and the viewer on YouTube. So thank you for joining in to A Call for Love. I really appreciate you taking your time. You know, for me, my biggest commodity of value is my time. I take my time as a very precious gift. And so that you're spending your time with me here today, I am so, so grateful. Thank you. Now, if you're a new listener, welcome to A Call for Love. And if you are a frequent listener, thank you for joining in. I really appreciate it. And today I want to begin with a story. Actually, it's not really a story, it's something that happened to me. So, as I record this, it is a Thursday. And for my Thursday routine, I like to go to a yoga class and then I guide meditation. It's become real decadent for me, this schedule that I have on Thursday mornings. And so after my yoga class, led by Maureen, the owner of Aigida, one of the studios I work at, it's a really fantastic class. Uh, I guide meditation. And so I had a feeling that today for meditation, I would guide everyone in a practice that is so dear to my heart. You may have heard of it before, and if not, it's Ho'oponopono, right? Ho'oponopono. It's kind of a mouthful, but it is such a spectacular practice. And I thought that when I was going to guide everyone in this meditation, that it would just simply, be a meditation. And this does not happen. I have to share this because there be people who were in my meditation class that will be listening to this, but I actually had to turn off. I have many candles lit. Some are natural and some are battery operated. And I actually had to turn the battery candle that was right in front of me off because tears were streaming down my face. Just, I wasn't sobbing like, with hiccups and shortness of breath. Just tears, water were coming out of both my eyes profusely. And I just felt so overwhelmed by this practice. And that's how strong Ho'oponopono is. And what it is a Hawaiian practice for forgiveness and reconciliation. And it's about restoring harmony to oneself and our relationships. And really, when you think of it, there's really no one out there. Everything comes from us. So today's practice was a very personal practice. I had felt a lot of anxiety this week, one day in particular. I woke up with it. The weather was rainy, and I don't know, I had a lot of anxiety. And so I thought this Ho'oponopono practice would be to myself. And so I shared this with the class that I was leading. And that's a beautiful part of being a guide, is that you can cater to actually what's going on in your life, which is often a thread in other people's lives, because maybe it's the stars, the time of the year, the weather, but usually it's no coincidence that what I'm going through is what others may be going through as well. And so for this practice, Ho'oponopono, I decided that we would offer it to ourselves. Because as you know, we are our hardest critic. We are so hard on ourselves, and it begins with us. And the reason why I chose it in the realm of anxiety was because I know that when I'm experiencing anxiety, which I am prone to, and I shared that with Monica Angelatos in episode 62, that I am disconnected, right? I'm feeling separate. I'm worrying, and anxiety is small worries built up so that there's many of them and can become overwhelming. And it's usually about the future. So I was just feeling anxious, so anxious that I couldn't settle the other day. And I realized that when I am in that place, I'm feeling disconnected. I'm feeling disconnected from source. You could call it anything you want. You could call it spirit. You could call it the divine. You could call it the universe. But I was feeling very separate, very alone, very fearful, very scared because that's just the way it was. I just woke up with it. In any case, I decided that this Ho'oponopono practice was going to be offered to ourselves and to the people I was guiding. And so today I would like to share with you not the meditation, but the dimensions, the aspects of Ho'oponopono, because it is so beautiful. And there is a song. I went with my girlfriend to the Shivananda ashram in Bahamas, and there was this beautiful soul, Carrie Grossman, and she sings the song Thank You. You can find it on YouTube, Spotify, all your channels. And it is just so, so heartfelt. I will put a link in the show notes that you can use this as a song to really open your heart. But in any case, this Ho'oponopono is really based in finding harmony within yourself, especially with your relationships, through prayer, dialogue, and forgiveness, right? It's addressing all the spaces inside of us that may not feel whole, that may require some forgiveness or some softness or some loving kindness. And it creates a sense of inner peace. You know, it is so important to realize when you are in these states. I know that I take my practices really seriously because I can notice and feel really big emotions. I'm feeling really sensitive. I think since the solar eclipse, I've been feeling this big wave of emotions. I feel like out of nowhere, I feel very sensitive, or I laugh really hard, or, I feel anxious, and maybe feeling grounded is not so much present for me at this time. But that's okay because I got a lot of tools in my toolbox. And I have a big heart full of gratitude for everything that I do have, especially with all that's going on in the world. But everything stems from us, right? It comes from us. Everything is a mirror. It's a reflection of what's going on. And so for this practice, I decided that we would offer it to ourselves. Now, there's 4 phrases to Ho'oponopono. And if you know these phrases, great, still listen, because there will be a new word or a new phrase that I say that you may hear in a different way that lands so new and bright to you that it creates a new perspective. All right, so bear with me. There are 4 phrases, right? The first phrase is, I'm sorry. Right? Step 1, I am sorry. Now, you can say this to somebody else, but today in this practice, we're going to offer it to ourselves, and not really offering it to ourselves. As I said in the meditation class that I led today, offering it to source, offering it to universe, because when you are separate, when you are feeling alone, when you are feeling isolated, and when you are inside your own little mind and own little world, it creates that separation where you forget who you really are. And who you really are is part of a bigger picture. We all share this same planet, this planet Earth, the same energy, and we are all energy, this collective consciousness. So I decided that we would say sorry to spirit or source for forgetting who we actually are, which is very whole and complete and a source of love and kindness for ourselves and all creatures. So we were going to say, I'm sorry. And I love this quote from Dr. Wayne Dyer. I say this, and it just reaches my heart so profoundly. If I knew who walked beside me every step of the way, I would never experience fear or doubt again. He said these words more or less, and it's so true. If we knew who walked beside us every step that we take, we would not feel fear or stress again. We would not feel alone. So to feel that, I felt like it would be such a beautiful intention to say sorry to Source for forgetting who we really are and bringing us back to the present. So step one is I'm sorry. You could say this to yourself. You could say this to spirit. You could say it to source, the universe, or you can say it to somebody who you have hurt. The first words, I am sorry, right? As a school teacher, I'd hear some people say, well, say you're sorry. But if you don't mean it, it doesn't mean anything. It has to come from your heart. And it's really great to notice how that feels, how that lands in your heart. I am sorry, right? Very important words. Step two is actually asking for forgiveness. So it's please forgive me. And don't worry about who or how it means or how it sounds to other people. You have to really mean it from yourself. Please forgive me. Please forgive me because I'm just human. I'm just living this human experience. I'm going to make mistakes. I do the best that I can, but guess what? I'm going to mess up. So please forgive me. Please forgive me, right? Can we offer that? Please forgive me, right? I didn't know what I was doing. Maybe I wasn't working for my best self. I forgot who I was. Please forgive me. And step three is gratitude. So, of course, we cannot know how other people are going to take it, but if we offer it sincerely, we have done the offering. And then we say in gratitude, thank you. Thank you doesn't really matter who or what you're thanking for. It's just the intention that you're saying, thank you. Thank you for listening to me. Thank you for holding me, universe. Thank you, or to somebody who you have caused some pain or suffering to. Thank you. Thank you for even entertaining my apology. Thank you for being in my life. Thank you for this life that I am leading. Thank you. Gratitude, right? Just a heart full of gratitude. And that is step three. Now, step four is, you guessed it, I love you, right? I love you. You can say it to your body. You can say it to the universe. You can say it to spirit, God, whatever name you gave it. Say, I love you, even to the air that you breathe, to the planet that we live on. I love you. What more powerful words have you ever heard than I love you? I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. So as I was saying this, and we were listening to the song Thank You by Carrie Grossman, all of a sudden my eyes were streaming tears. And I was really choked up. I just felt such magnitude of energy. As a school teacher, we would, on Remembrance Day, we would all go into the gym and they would play the horn for the minute of silence. And also then my eyes would tear, like just streaming tears. Sometimes this might be embarrassing to say, but if I've gone to a hockey game or we're at a sports game and everyone stands up and sings our national anthem, it does the same for me. It's the power of community, the power of collective voice. It really moves me and it brings me to just such deep, heartfelt emotion. And so I did experience this today, sharing this meditation. It doesn't have to be a meditation. It could be a prayer. It could be anytime you say it. I like to use Ho'oponopono when I am feeling, as I said, disconnected, when I'm feeling anxious, When I'm feeling angry, and that could be at myself or somebody else, it's really about a forgiveness, right? A reconciliation of bringing you from unease into peace and tranquility. I don't know if you have ever practiced this, but it's the simple things that we forget. There is a toolbox that we can use, and not every tool is going to fit in each moment. And that's the beautiful thing, is that we can select what is going to resonate with us in the moment, in the circumstance. For me, Ho'oponopono is and has been a great gift. You can incorporate it in a second. You could be in line somewhere and have a really negative thought about somebody. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. And you may say, I'm not going to say I love you to a complete stranger if there's someone in this line who's really ticked you off and you have these really negative thoughts going on in your mind. But my mother always said, and I always like to bring in my mother. My mother always said to me that you don't have to like everybody, but you should love everybody because they're human. Like, they have this body, they were born into this life, and they're part of this human experience that may be very hard and challenging. So that's up to your discretion. But really saying I love you is more of a global acknowledgement than, of course, a romantic acknowledgement or even of an approval, right? When you can look at somebody beyond their physical body, beyond the actions that they produce, when you can look beyond that and see in the core all the stuff that's gotten in the way of their mindset and what comes out of their mouth. If you can look beyond that and look at the core of the person, then we can possibly open and soften. Because holding on to past grievances, it's dis-ease, dis-ease. And that's what we don't want, right? It creates illness in our body. And it's like poison, right? What did they say when you're pointing at somebody, your index finger, which is the ego, there's 3 fingers pointing at you. So you're getting most of the negativity towards yourself. And the body holds on to that. That's energy that the body holds on to. And you do not want that. So sometimes you think you may be doing it for somebody else. And sometimes you're really actually doing it for yourself. But really, in the essence, everything is a mirror to our perception to who we are. I hope this practice resonates with you. Reach out to me. Let me know. Let me know if it's really challenging for you to do. Just soften, see if you can do 1 or 2 or 3 phrases, and offer this into your life wholeheartedly, right? You could be an individual practice that you do on your own, or I have been in circumstances where I have looked at somebody or a situation or expectation, especially if somebody has asked something from you that you really don't want to do, and you find that you're feeling resentful or just really negative towards, you can say this. You can say this in the moment. It doesn't even have to be to a person specifically, but to a feeling, an emotion. If you're feeling anger, right? I'm sorry. I'm sorry for feeling this angry, to yourself, to the universe, to the other person. Please forgive me. Please forgive me, because I do not want to hold on to this. Thank you. Thank you for even entertaining it. And I love you. I love you for even being present, for even having this life in order to experience it. So, always wishing you peace and joy. From my heart to yours, namaste. Thank you for listening.
It would mean so much to me if you could share this episode with someone you feel could benefit from its message. And subscribe to a Call for Love podcast to receive new weekly episodes every Tuesday. Head over to globalwellnesseducation.com to learn more.